So I think 300 Blackout is really interesting, and yet I'm just now getting into it. I know you've probably watched 100 videos on 300 Blackout, but here is mine. So what I think is so interesting about 300 Blackout is the subsonic capabilities. We don't have that in a lot of other cartridges except for 300 Blackout. And so when you look at subsonic capabilities, you really need to be looking at a short barrel, like this 8.5-inch barrel. And if you have a gun that's that short, wouldn't it be cool to have folding stock capabilities, which is why I haven't just slapped a 300 Blackout barrel and an AR-15. And then looking at the options, I didn't really like the price point that a lot of them came in at until I saw this PSA JAKL and 300 Blackout. This is an 8.5-inch barrel with a folding brace on here. And I think it's a pretty cool little compact package. So today we're gonna go group 5 different ammos out of this gun and see what kind of performance we can get. So because of the subsonic capabilities of 300 Blackout, I think a suppressor is a must-have on a gun like this. So I have a Radical Defense LS3 on here. And then also I think this gun, I really wanted to have it set up for night vision. So I put on a Holosun Iris GR3. These are an insane value for an aiming laser, but also there happen to be one of the more compact lasers on the market. And when you pair that with the included switch, you can still have really great ergonomics and you don't take up too much real estate. I've got a Holosun SCRS on for my aiming device, and I like the form factor. I think the size of this looks really cool with this gun. And then finally, I have a Gen 1 Edgar Sherman sling. I think this is like one of the first 100 ones he sold, so I'm happy I've held on to this one all these years. But some things I'm gonna add on to this today to make grouping a little bit easier is just a bipod. So we got a Picatinny slot up here. You can just slap this on. And then I have a magnifier. This is the one from the new SIG 8T AMR. And so we're gonna go ahead and load this up with our first ammo and shoot a group. All right, so first up we've got Magtech. This is one of the cheaper ammos you can buy, subsonic, but it's been cycling and sounding pretty good, so I'm excited to see how this groups today. This is the 200 grain specifically. I don't have the box, but take my word for it. All right, next up we've got the Winchester Target and Practice 200 grain, and this is kind of like your basic stuff you'll find in every store. All right, so next up is the Winchester Super Suppressed 200 grain. This stuff honestly sounds and cycles very similar to the White Box, so I'll be interested to see if we see any difference on paper today. All right, next up is some Federal 220 grain. This is the heaviest round we have out here today, so I'll be interested to see how this shoots. And finally, we have Hornady Black ammunition. This is a 208 grain, so kind of a strange little weight. And it's the AMAX tips, I believe. It's the, the red Meplat. So yeah, well, let's see how this groups.
Suppressor tight, all that?
Yeah. You mean loose?
Yeah, loose.
Shooter ready.
Spotter ready. Yeah,
all right, good old Magtech. There's a little left. Impressions on that, the Magtech felt like I was worried, I could tell I was riding the line of supers. These feel solidly in the subsonic range.
Yeah.
Like I'm really just feeling the action cycling. Same projectile in these Winchester Super Suppressed. And yeah, we'll see if we see a difference. All right, next dot up. Nice.
That's probably the best group so far, I think. Those were very consistent on the SD. Can you see what it says?
Yeah, average feet per second was 1030, but these ones didn't feel quite as hot as the Magtech. All right, very top dot.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Yeah, 1144. All right, last is Hornady Black.
Yeah, those are the best.
This is like 8 ammo away. All right, let's go check it out. All right, so these are grouped as well as I can. I should note this is probably a 2 MOA dot in this red dot, and so that's about double the size of my pasty. It doesn't have like a perfectly crisp edge, so I'm kind of trying to line up the edge of the dot with the edge of the pasty. It's not a perfect system, but we grouped these as well as we can. Let's take a look at it. First up at the bottom, we have Magtech right here. Then this is the Winchester White Box. This right here is the Winchester Black Box. That's the super suppressed. This is the Federal, which for some reason shifted my group way left. I have no idea why that would happen. These are 220 grain, but yeah, I've never seen a group just suddenly shift left like that. And then finally, this is the Hornady Black, with the Meplats. And this is a pretty large group. That's these 5 here. Not sure what's going on there. All right, so something we've been finding with the subsonic 300 Blackout is it's a lot more prone to tumbling and ricocheting than we're used to. You know, you shoot 5.56 into a hill and it just kind of punches right through. But as we're shooting this, well, I would say maybe 30% of the rounds we hear like a whoosh, where it zips off into the distance. And yeah, just beware if you're shooting your 300 Blackout subsonic suppressed into trash, you might get some ricochets. All right, so one last little thing. I've got each of those rounds loaded up in the same order, 2 of each. So 10 rounds total, and we're just gonna listen ears off and kind of hear what they sound like.
I would say the second before last.
Yeah.
Second before last was
the
loudest.
Hornady Black is really quiet, but everything else sounds, well, it's much quieter, but all of them sound about the same.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell.
Yeah, so
First 3.
I feel like the first one, the Magtech, was loudest, and it's probably because it's right at the edge of supersonic. So Magtech was a little bit louder, but then both the Winchesters and the Federals sounded about the same. But the Hornady Black is significantly quieter, noticeably quieter than
What was the first one you shot?
Magtech.
What was the second before last?
The Federal.
That to me was the loudest. I could tell. I couldn't really tell on the first one.
All right, same order. It's just 1 of each round now.
Ready. Yeah, the first one and the Federal are the loudest. Mm-hmm. But I think the first one is really just the echo. Mm-hmm. Like the secondary sound.
Yeah, I also feel like the Magtechs are probably the most prone to tumbling. Like every time it was tumbling, it was one of the Magtechs.
Yeah.
So.
Because those are ball, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think this is a pretty cool platform. I think 300 Blackout is a very cool capability to have. And if you're gonna have 300 Blackout, it should be in an 8.5 inch barrel, and it should be in something that can fold and be compact and take advantage of the capabilities of the cartridge, which is why I really like this PSA JAKL. I think it's a very affordable option to give you this kind of cool capability outside the box. That also, frankly, most guys aren't going to shoot that much. Most of us are going to shoot 5.56, so it's cool to be able to buy something that's effective but very affordable. And if you want to win almost this exact setup, go to 100concepts.com. We are giving away a PSA JAKL as well as a bunch of other prizes, almost $50,000 in prizes. So go to 100concepts.com, check out the Phase 2 giveaway on our homepage banner. And if you win this, let's go shooting together with our matching 300 Blackout JAKLs.